Welcome to View from the Top of the Goalpost. We're in day 3 of our predictions, and today we're talking about the AFC and NFC South. So without further ado, I give you Chad with our records from last year. Mid-season form, like you said yesterday.
Crap, almost screwed up. I was really good yesterday, and today I almost forgot. I closed out that window. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're back. For the AFC South, last year, Diesel in 4th place picked the Houston Texans. In 3rd place, the Indianapolis Colts. In 2nd place, the Tennessee Titans. And in 1st place, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And yes, I might have laughed at him, but my predictions were the exact same for the AFC South. So last year, you could say that we both screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah, we picked the first place team to get last.
Yep.
I mean, to our credit, in 2022, Houston was really bad.
And we did not know CJ Stroud was going to be CJ Stroud in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, well, I'll go first this time, I guess. For my 4th place team, I have the Tennessee Titans. New head coach, Brian Callahan. Whole new offensive and defensive staff. Will Levis, second-year quarterback, didn't really impress last year. Who knows what the mailman can do this year. They added Mason Rudolph, and I really like that they added Tony Pollard. Like, they got rid of Derrick Henry, but they got a running back that's capable of getting yards and scoring some touchdowns. I don't know why the Cowboys let him go, to be honest with you, but I mean, I do, because they don't have any money to pay anybody, because they paid Dak, or they're going to pay Dak, and they paid CD, and they still got to pay Mike
CD.
Parsons. Yeah, so, yeah. I also added Tyler Boyd, and Calvin Ridley, so, I mean.
There we go. I thought I was losing my
addition-
mind for a second, because I was like, I'm pretty sure they added Calvin Ridley, and how
Yeah,
that
they
wasn't one of the
added
top
Calvin
names
Ridley.
on the list. I was like, oh God, am I forgetting something?
Why does Tyler Boyd always fall 3rd behind 2 really good receivers? Because they have D-Hop too. Yeah. But I mean, they don't have a great quarterback throwing to them, so they, like previously mentioned, they lost Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. Yeah. But I don't think they're going to be very good this year. I mean, like I said, I don't know how to feel about Will Levis. He didn't really impress me last year. And yes, he does have a great receiving core. And, he could do worse at running back. I would prefer to have Derrick Henry, but I don't mind Tony Pollard. They weren't very good last year. I didn't really know why they fired
Mike Vrabel,
Mike Vrabel. Yeah.
because they're idiots.
Yeah, they are idiots. And I don't know why nobody hired him to be a head coach this year. That's also, I was shocked when all the coaching vacancies were taken and he wasn't one of the
Mike
head
Vrabel
coaches.
was not hired. Yeah, I was actually more shocked about Mike Vrabel not being hired than Bill Belichick. I knew that Bill being hired had a whole bunch more baggage. I was shocked when Vrabel didn't get a job.
He'll definitely get a job next year. I'm sure of it. Yeah, Titans are one of these teams that just have question marks, because I could actually see a world where they'd be pretty decent and fighting for a wild card spot, but I just don't believe in them. They haven't given me any reason to believe in them. And with the new coaching staff, they got to make me believers.
Yeah, I completely agree. I have in 4th place the Tennessee Titans. I don't believe in Will Levis at all. I think he had a couple good games. I don't think he's going to be a bad NFL quarterback, but I don't think he's one of the great ones. I think that losing Derrick Henry was a very bad thing. Their offensive line is okay. Tony Pollard is not a number 1 running back. The Dallas Cowboys showed that last year, and he could not perform the number 1 running back duties, and that's one reason that CeeDee Lamb just ate it up last year, is because they had no running game because of him. And yeah, a whole new coaching staff. And really, I have nothing great to say about the Tennessee Titans. It's where wide receivers go to die. And I'm pretty sure Calvin Ridley only signed there because the most money was against it. And he had one of his good friends bet that he was going to go to Tennessee and won a shit ton of money gambling on it because there's no other reason.
Like insider trading?
Yeah, 1,000%. Calvin Ridley already went down for. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, he's already been suspended for the NFL for gambling before. Calvin Ridley is clearly a man who's out there to make his buck. And that's the only reason that he went to Tennessee when so many other places were offering him better contracts, okay? That makes no sense. Tennessee is where wide receivers go to die. I'm sorry, yeah. Last place. I will be shocked if Tennessee wins more than 5 games.
Well, who do you got finishing third in the AFC South?
So this one is kind of wild, but it stays true to how I felt about them following their bye week last year, where I am all out on them, though I like a lot of pieces. And that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm sorry. They're perennial chokers. They have an inability to stay healthy at any level of the positions that they have. And their schedule this year is gross. They have so many nasty games this year. Really, I love Doug Peterson. I think he's a great coach. I really do. I want to root for him, but I just don't believe in the Prince. I think that there is too many just inconsistencies on this team for them to ever actually win anything. And I think this team is going to have to be rebuilt from the ground up before they ever actually do anything or make any noise in the AFC at all. So that's why I have the Jacksonville Jaguars in third place.
I have the Indianapolis Colts in third place. And one of the main reasons I put them there is because is Anthony Richardson going to stay healthy? I mean, because he was electric for the first 4 games of the year last year, and so he knocked himself out for the season. And I wouldn't, if I were a betting man, I would not put my money on Indianapolis because of that. Because now there's a history. And, like, it's not even just because he knocked himself out for the season. He got hurt in the first game of the season. And didn't he miss the second game? And then he came back for a couple games and knocked himself out for the rest of the year. So, like, he's too reckless. So, like, I can't bet on this team because of that. Their backup now is Joe Flacco. So there's that. Maybe he still has some of his magic left in him. They didn't do anything. They didn't add anybody else on offense besides Joe Flacco. And they didn't add anybody on defense to free agency. They did get Latu as their first pick at defensive end. But, yeah.
The best player in the draft. I want that. The best defensive player in the draft. Just want to state that.
Is there a spoiler alert for something that we'll be picking later?
Maybe.
Whatever. I was going to talk about Jonathan Taylor, because they still got him. But again, is he going to stay healthy? Because now he has a history of injuries. It's just, this team is just, you just don't know. I can't, once again, kind of like Tennessee, I could see a world where maybe they're fighting for a playoff position, but, just don't think they're going to be very good. I do like Shane Steichen. I think that he's a really good coach, and I think that he was a good part of the reason the Eagles were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and he's pretty much proven it, because Nick Sirianni is he's on the hot seat.
Oh, yeah. That'll be next week's problem. We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. Number 2, for me, I have last year's AFC South champs, Houston.
Oh, all right.
I think Houston's going to be good. I think that we're going to see a sophomore slump from CJ Stroud. I think he's going to have a good year, but I think there's going to be a losing streak in the middle of the season, and they're going to come up strong towards the end. I do have them in the playoffs, but I don't have them winning. I just feel like there's going to be sophomore slump because he was just so good last year. It was so unexpected. I think that it's going to get to his head. The pressure is going to get to his head. I think that there's people out there that are like hyping him so much that they're almost setting themselves up for disappointment. And I mean, I like the kid. I like Houston as a team. I just have this feeling in my bone that there's going to be that sophomore slump. D'Amico Ryans is a good head coach, though. I will say that. I do like I guess I did forget that they added Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs. Yeah. Sophomore slump, though.
Hey, man.
They also added Cam Akers as well.
Yeah.
Daniil Hunter on defense. Ugh. Yeah,
Diesel.
okay.
Diesel, look at me. Look at me on the camera.
Not changing my...
No, look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes.
Gotcha.
I believe in you. And I also 1,000% agree. Houston Texans are getting second in the AFC South. Because of everything you just said. I do believe that CJ Stroud is still going to be good to great this year. But he is going to have some rough patches. And last year, they barely snuck this division out. Like, it came down to the last game of the year. And don't get me wrong, I think the Texans are a very good team, but they're a very good team in a very bad division. And my number one team in the AFC South, Diesel, the Indianapolis Colts. Because, Steichen, chef's kiss. My God, did the Colts nail that hiring of that man. Look at what he did with the team last year. You're right. He lost Anthony Richardson multiple times throughout the year. He didn't have Jonathan Taylor to start the year because he was in a contract holdout. They had injuries across the board. Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson never took a snap together last year. This year, we get a fully healthy Richardson and Taylor together. We talked about the run option being a sick, nasty thing for the Baltimore Ravens. Oh boy. Guess who also can run a sick, nasty run option? And guess who both of the players are younger than the ones in Baltimore? Oh, it's Richardson and Taylor. And you're right, Diesel. I'm not going to pass any things that Richardson will stay healthy all year. You're right. He is going to miss some time. But you know what they did? They went and they got the best insurance policy in the game and went and grabbed Fluco, and they have him sitting there because that wide receiver core with Gardner Minshew gotten back there still almost took them to the playoffs and were literally one play away from making the playoffs last year if they would have gotten tackled inbounds. They only needed that. They lost the playoffs in the last second. Houston needed Indy to lose, and Indy lost on the last play of the game. So you know what? I think that Indy has a great defense, has better coaching, and I'm sorry, folks, I'm drinking this Anthony Richardson Kool-Aid. I loved what I saw last year, and him on JT on the field together makes me quiver in my bones. So give me the Colts to win it all in the AFC South.
I like your spunk, your enthusiasm for the Colts. I do like that. Like I said, I could see a world where they'd be good and fighting for a playoff spot. If I were a betting man, I have to prove it to me, just like the Titans. But I'm picking the Jacksonville Jaguars to win. only because I want to, like, this is more of my head over, or my heart over my head. I do want Trevor Lawrence to be a good quarterback. I want him to succeed in this league, and I want him to earn the money that they're paying him. But I'm just going to list off a couple names, and for another reason why I think that Jacksonville is going to win this division. Travis Etienne, Christian Kirk, and Evan Ingram. I think that those are three great offensive players. They added Gabe Davis. He's not going to do anything for them. But they did draft Brian Thomas, number 1 as the receiver. So I don't know. I love Doug Peterson. I believe that, he won a Super Bowl for the Eagles, unlike Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen. But I think that he's going to turn it around this year. Yeah, they had epic collapses the last couple years, but they're going to learn from that. Trevor Lawrence is going to earn his money, and they're going to win this division. I hope.
Just once again, I fell off after last year when they lost to the frickin' 49ers after that bye week.
Travis Etienne, man.
I love Travis. I love so many pieces on the team. I just don't believe him anymore. But let us move to the NFC South.
Who did we pick last year?
Ho, Diesel. Did we screw the pooch on this division as well? We're really bad at the NFC South, or both the Souths. Really, we just should stop.
Match division though, preseason.
Yeah.
They were so
once
bad.
Once again, both of us had the first place team finishing in last, as both of us had Tampa Bay finishing in 4th place.
Wow.
Both of us had Carolina finishing in 3rd. You had New Orleans winning the division. I had Atlanta winning the division.
And I feel like this year didn't get much better. There's one team that's improved, but are they good? That's the question. I'm pretty sure we're going to have the same at the bottom of this division. I just don't see a world where Carolina wins more than 2 games again this year.
This is a weird year where I feel like there are so many divisions that are so top heavy that there's, like last year, I feel like a lot of things were very even throughout the NFL. There was no division. There was a couple of divisions, obviously, that were over early. But this year, I feel like it's going to be way worse. I feel like you're going to need at least 11 wins this year to make the playoffs. It's going to be one of those years where the good teams are really good and the bad teams are real bad.
Yeah, the Panthers, they didn't even do anything to help their cause. They added Rashad Penny and Deontay Johnson, and that's really about it. They added some pieces on defense. I got Jadeveon Clowney, I got Jordan Fuller, but yeah, I agree. 4th place Panthers. Good. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. No, I want to believe in Bryce Young though. I really do. I hate that there is a team out there that is this inept. They really screwed the pooch, and they're going to be paying for it for a decade.
Oh, at
and
least.
It sucks. I don't want to see that. I want to see everybody thrive the best they can. Maybe have a bad year one year and then pick yourself back up and get going. But Panthers are going to be bad for a while. And poor Bryce Young, he's going to be labeled as a bust, and it wasn't even his fault.
I love the Panthers. I always have. They came into existence right around the time that the middle school that I went to became the Panthers because it just opened. So I felt a weird kinship with this team. But yeah, nothing. They have no bright spots. Why didn't you trade Brandon Burns last year when you could have gotten 4 first-round picks for him? Every time they could have made a right decision, they've made the wrong decision. So they do deserve everything that's coming to them, but I also still hate it. I don't like it at all.
Hey, they'll actually legitimately probably have the first-round pick or the first overall pick next year. Won't have to give it to the Bears.
I don't. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I do think there's going to be teams worse than the Panthers this year.
You cut out again. No, I still can't hear you.
How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I feel like CM Punk's gonna come out and hear the little static.
Look in my eyes. Who you got at number 3, Diesel?
I have the New Orleans Saints. And I know that I had them winning last year, but they suck.
Yeah.
That's not fair. They have some good players. Dennis Allen sucks. He's a bad head coach. They should have fired him. I don't know why he's still there.
How is he still coaching in the NFL? This is great. I like when we agree, Diesel, because we can just kind of talk about this together, because I also have the New Orleans Saints at number 3, because they have nothing. Like, what are they doing? Alvin Kamara is not going to be able to play this year because he keeps doing horrible things to people. And what? You have Derek Carr, who is at most the top 15 quarterback at the best, like in the middle.
Eli Manning.
Yeah, he's our generation's Eli Manning or Joe Flacco.
Yeah. They didn't really do anything to add to their offense. I mean, they did sign Equimania St. Brown. So, I guess,
great name.
Yeah. They got rid of Jimmy Graham. I think he might have retired, though. Michael Thomas is gone, too. Didn't know that.
Yeah, Michael Thomas, I think he retired, didn't he?
I'm going to look that up right now because I did not know. It says he's a free agent.
Oh, I thought he retired.
No one wants him, I guess. He's also injured. He has an injury.
He's soft retired.
Yeah. But, hey, they actually improved their defense, and their defense was their strongest part of them last year. They signed Chase Young and Willie Gay. So,
Until they get rid of their inept head coach.
Who is a defensive coach. Yeah.
Still a bad head coach.
No, I know. I agree. It was hilarious what he did to Arthur Smith last year in the last game of the season, though. That made for good TV. Like, I was so happy to see him just, like, shit all over him.
Yep. Oh, yeah. That was ballsy. It's ballsy to do.
So I take it you have New Orleans at 3-2?
Oh, yeah. Number 3, New Orleans as well. We agree on these bottom. This is where the rubber meets the road. I'm intrigued. Do you want me to go first or do you want to go first?
I do, too. I actually think that we're going to agree on this entire division, but you go first.
If we do, this will be our first one. We'll agree on every part of it so far in these first 3 days of doing this.
Who you got number 2?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at number 2. Because I love the cockroach. I do love him so much. But also, this team has a lot of holes on it. It's one of those teams that's held together with spit and vinegar and a little bit of duct tape. And I just don't believe in the coaching staff at all. I love so many players on this team. I think there's so many, like Mike Evans, frickin' Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield. I can't think of the running back's name right now. And Levante David on defense. They have so many players that I love. Rashad White, there we go. But this team as a whole is so mismanaged. It's wild. Like, it's crazy. If they weren't in the NFC South, they'd be a perennial bottom feeder. But since they play in one of the weirdest divisions in all of football, they won it last year, and I think they get second this year. But I don't think they're a great team at all this year. I think they get second in this division, and I don't have them making the playoffs. Spoiler warning for later.
I also have them at number 2. Their defense got worse. They lost Shaq Barrett, Ryan Neal, and Devin White. Their offense is good, and you know how I feel about Baker. I'm a big Baker supporter, and like I've never given up on him. And
you supported him during his Carolina days, and even I couldn't do that. And I love me a good cockroach player in the NFL, and I say cockroach respectively. I think cockroaches are badass, okay? So when I say that, don't think it as an insult. But yeah, no, you are a bigger Baker man than I am.
I love the creamsicle uniforms. I wish that they would play in those more. I love the old logo with the white helmet. Those are some of the best uniforms in NFL history. I don't know why anyone thinks they're ugly, because to me, they're beautiful. But yeah, the only thing they did on offense was add Sterling Shepard. I don't know. I mean, I have like vast respect for Mike Evans, and the fact that, because last year we were calling it the Mike Evans farewell tour, and the fact that he re-signed with Tampa Bay
and got Baker a contract.
Yeah, because of Baker.
Yeah,
it's like I have so much more respect for him than I even had before, and like even at his age, he has what was last year his 11,000 yard receiving season in a row. And he's still one of the best receivers in the league, with being in the league for over a decade. It is crazy. I don't see him falling off. And even if he does fall off, they got Chris Godwin, who is in his prime, who would probably be a number one receiver on half the teams in the league. Yeah, I think that they will be a decent team. I don't think I have them in the playoffs either, to be honest with you. I'm actually checking. I do not have them in the playoffs, but I do have them finishing second in this division. And yeah, obviously I have Atlanta finishing first, because let's get honest, the main reason they don't have Arthur Smith anymore. I think like they should have won the division last year. They should have won the division. They should have been winning the division the last couple years, but like because of Arthur Smith, he was holding them back and never started the right quarterback. He didn't play the right offense. He had Bijan Robinson, who lit up the Packers and then barely used them the rest of the season.
Then he started Cordell Patterson over him for basically the rest of the year.
Never has used Kyle Pitts properly. Yeah, never used Kyle Pitts properly. It's
you have Drake London on the outside.
I mean, and adding Kirk Cousins is like awesome. I love that. But I feel
wins. You know what Kirk Cousins does? He just wins, folks.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see, even though he signed a 4-year deal, wouldn't be surprised to see him one and done, because they also drafted Michael Penix Jr. at number 8 overall, when a lot of people think that's a crazy move. I will not judge until we find out if Michael Penix is a good player or not. I'm not going to say it's because what if he becomes the next Tom Brady, wins 7 Super Bowls? And are you going to say that that was a bad move? No one will say that was a bad move. They'll say that was the smartest move any team has ever made to do what they did. But yeah, as for now, I'm just going to leave that up for future Diesel to decide on. But in the meantime, I'm a Kirk Cousins fan. Even though he played for Minnesota, he was a solid quarterback. Glad he's out of the Packers division. And I hope that a fire has been lit under his ass, because they told him they weren't going to draft a quarterback, and they drafted him in the top 10 picks. Man, I hope that he has a season like he's never had before, and I do see this team winning like 11 games. I think because they will be using the talent that they already have. And yeah.
Once again, this is just like I talked about for the Chargers, a team that has always been a coach away from greatness. There are so many pieces on this team. This defense has, what's his name at safety? Might be the best safety in the NFL right now. Byron Reed?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, Byron Reed. Might be the best safety in the NFL. That's their defense. No one talks about their defense. And on offense, we already talked about how many weapons they have. And now they have a quarterback and an offensive line. Diesel, I'm not going to lie to you. I think that 11 wins might be selling them short, because they play in a weak division and they are not playing a division winner's schedule, because they didn't win the South last year or make the playoffs. They have a ridiculously soft schedule. I love the Falcons this year. The Falcons are my team that I think really is going to surprise some people. And Bijan Robinson, whew, Gotta love that guy this year.
I got some betting stats. I probably should have been bringing these up earlier on since we're in day 3 and we're at the end of day 3. But the Falcons for the Super Bowl are 30-1 favorites. They're tied for 13 odds. Raheem Morris is tied for 5th to be Coach of the Year preseason, and their projected over/under is 10.5. Kirk Cousins is 17th projected for MVP. Bijan Robinson is projected 8th for Offensive Player of the Year. Yeah, I think that they're already sleeping on the Falcons.
Yeah.
That was the point I wanted to bring up.
I am super high on the Falcons this year.
Well, on that note, made it through another division. We only got one more to go. And that, I think we saved the best for last. I think the East and both conferences might be the best 2 divisions. I'm really excited to talk about the East, but that's tomorrow. So be sure to hit that bell so you know when we upload that video. Like, subscribe, share, hit that thumbs up button if you're on YouTube. And yeah, hope you're enjoying our football content for like a week straight. Don't get used to it.
It won't be daily after this.
Yeah.
Bye.
I guess until tomorrow, I've been Diesel. He's been Chad. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
This has been a Visionaries Global Media production. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.